This video is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I encourage you to do that. The link to that is going to be in the description. Alright, now this consistency is what we're looking for, and a way to check that, if you just take your stirring stick and run it through, you can still see the mark, so you can almost draw stuff in there. And now we're just gonna pour a little bit in here, put our mold, our ring in, and then pour the rest on top. And it looks like this is a little bit too wide, so I'm gonna hit it with a blowtorch to soften it up, and I'm gonna bring it in. Alright, so I'm gonna tap this for a little bit more, but before it dries, you want to make sure you can see both pipes. One's right here, and then one is covered up, but it's right here. This is what our mold looks like. This is dried for like, I think it's 2 days now, maybe 3. But you can see the wax is coming out of there, and if you look at the side, wax isn't touching the side. There's an air bubble right there, but it doesn't look like it's connected to the wax, so we should be fine. And then you can see over here, the wax isn't touching the side. And if it is touching the side, you can try to patch it up with some concrete, or you can just start over. Patching it up is probably a little easier. But now I'm gonna get my forge started up. We're gonna flip this over, melt all the wax out, then we're gonna melt our zinc, and we'll pour up. So I got the forge started up, and I flipped the mold over so the wax will drip down, and yeah, we'll just leave it there for a couple minutes. Alright, here goes the pour. Now we'll just let that sit. I hope it works. Really hope it works. Alright, now here's the moment of truth. It's looking good. When I kind of quenched it in water, this broke away. And I can see that it's molded all the way up, so concrete should break off pretty easily. Well, right here I can see it didn't mold around the 9mm shell that we had, but we can fix that. Oh yeah, we can put it back on there. Alright, well, this is what we're left with. You can see, you can see it made like a mold around the 9mm shell, but I guess it didn't bond together, but we'll figure out a way to get it back on there. Now, I cooled it off, and this is what it looks like. It resembles a ring. I am just dropping this all over the place. But I'm gonna go ahead, cut and file all this off. You guys don't need to see that. So yeah, I'll be back when I'm done. I sawed off the pour nub, I guess you want to call it, and then I also sawed off the 2 tunnels. So I didn't cut off all of it because I didn't really trust myself. I feel like I'd cut too far into the ring with the saw, so I'm just going to use a file for the sides of it. I'm kind of happy with what I've done so far. I took off the big edges, and those took quite a while. And if you think I cheated and used a power tool, I didn't. There's all the zinc dust, there's the files, and I almost filed off my whole finger, well, not my whole fingernail, but I almost filed off a good majority of my fingernail. But now I don't have a circular file, so I'm going to go ahead and use a drill with a little, Dremel bit. So I know the filing would get boring, but I figured you guys might want to see me at least work a little. Alright, we're here about an hour and a half later, and sanded down the ring. It's pretty smooth. It's not too shiny though. And in order to do that, I think I'm gonna have to go through multiple grits of sandpaper, which I don't have. So I'll probably do one last sanding on this, and then since the shell didn't stick on there, basically I had to file it down, and then I kind of had to make a bevel on it so that it'll fit on. It's almost like a Lego piece, so it'll fit on like a Lego piece like that, and I'll super glue it on in there, and then I'll do a finished sanding. Here's our almost finished ring. I basically just put 2 layers of super glue on it, and it's not coming off anytime soon. You can also use epoxy, and I also did a quick sand. Couldn't get it too shiny, but I think this clear nail polish should help with that. So I'm just gonna put a quick coat of that on here. This is our finished product. It only took maybe 5 minutes for the coating to dry out, but I didn't want to film anymore last night, and I wore it all today. No problems. Fits on my finger nice, comes off pretty easily. But the coating we put on, the fingernail polish, gave it a little bit of a shine, but it's still a pretty dull color, which I don't mind. The shell's kind of shiny itself, but it doesn't need to be too shiny, and you can still make out 9mm and then everything else it says. So yeah, it only took me 4 tries, which I think it's been about 2 weeks since the first time I tried this. And yeah, I'd say this is a success. The only thing I don't really like about it is the shell sits unevenly. But, you know, it's homemade, made out of candle wax and concrete, so can't expect too much. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it. And please comment, rate, let me know if you like this, what I can improve on, and subscribe if you haven't already.